Hey family, it's Netta back at you with Black Lives Count. I hope you're all doing well, family. I hope you are enjoying your evening. So family, I am coming to you today. Just 1 second, family. You know, you come online and all your stuff just want to act up. So I'm coming to y'all today to talk about this Reid situation. So I saw the interview with Godffrey. I don't know who the other young man was, and Reid, and how they were discussing the movie Sinners, and they were talking about how she was talking about the juke joint and all of that stuff. Y'all already know. Okay. Oh, Father. But anyway, she was talking about how, you don't let the evil ones in and this, that, and the other and stuff. She was talking about how they were referring to how immigrants had built America. They was just talking on black points, foundational black American points, that they know nothing about. They don't care. They all say they come here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to make money and to get above everybody else and everything else, especially in their homeland. Okay, she spoke, all of them spoke on things that were irrelevant to all of their homelands. And I believe Reid, her people, I believe they're from the Congo. Now, she was born here, so she's a anchor baby. But Godffrey, I don't think Godffrey was born here. Maybe he was born in Nigeria and then his family brought him here. I'm not sure. And the other young man, I don't even know who he was, and it's irrelevant at this point. But anyway, they were talking on the movie Sinners and how all of that transpired in the movie. And the movie was about foundational black Americans. Even though the cast of black people were not all foundational black Americans. Michael B. Jordan was a foundational black American. There may have been a few others, but predominantly there were a lot of immigrants in that movie. You know, family, they want to call us xenophobic, but we're not xenophobic. What we do is speak facts. Okay? Whenever we're speaking facts and the truth about the things that are going on that have transpired in America, in this country, between foundational black Americans and the government and the citizens, the white citizens of America, that they have no knowledge about before they came into America. Okay, and even coming into America, they still literally have no knowledge because they surround themselves with, their own, either within their own group or they surround themselves with, to be adjacent to Caucasian Americans. And that is because they believe or they feel like that's where the power is. So since that community has the power in their eyes in this country, so they feel to be adjacent to that community. Okay? So yet they come here with the talking points, of foundational black Americans being lazy, not taking advantage of all our opportunities. What else do they say? They say we're not serious, and a host of other shit they say, right? Okay. But they don't come here and educate themselves on knowledge and facts of not only slavery, okay, because that's the first thing they revert back to. Not just slavery, because only slavery didn't happen in America. If only slavery happened in America, then we could say, okay, vamonos. we can let that shit go. Okay, maybe we can build on some other shit if they were trying to, be better people, but they're not. Okay, but not only slavery happened. So after slavery, we had quite a few other things that transpired. We had redlining. We had Jim Crow. Okay, we had a host of shit. A lot of them don't come here and take the opportunity, the same opportunity that they say we have. They don't take that opportunity to come here and learn the history of the Americas and the foundational Black Americans and what transpired from slavery up until now. They don't care about that. And they come here with the same exact talking points that the white man has in our homeland, and they talk that shit to us as though it's something new we just not hearing, and they don't even understand or know what they're talking about. Example. Joy Reid and other immigrants. Oh no, let me she had on a shirt during that interview that said immigrants built America. She had on a shirt that said immigrants built America. My question to Joy Reid is, where was the immigrants when foundational Black Americans in 1792 were building the White House? They wasn't here. They wasn't here when the White House was built. Where were immigrants in 1653 when the wall went up? The reason they call Wall Street, foundational Black Americans built the wall, and from there they built Wall Street, and they called it Wall Street. That's why they called it Wall Street. It started off as a wall. Okay, they had a wall, and it was called Wall Street, and then they built Wall Street on Wall Street. Where were the immigrants, her people, the Congolese people? Where were they at when that occurred? In 1793, when they started building the Capitol, I don't recall reading that the Congolese or Nigerian people were there building those buildings and formations. I don't recall learning that. All in the years that I've been to school up until now, my doctorate. From kindergarten, I don't recall being taught that Congolese, Nigerians, and a host of African or Caribbean, Black Caribbean immigrants built those buildings. When the Smithsonian was built in the 1800s, I never read that they brought immigrants or that they already were living here and they put them into slavery to build that. So when Joy Reid says, and others, because she's not the only one that's saying it, that immigrants built America, well, are they talking about the already built America? The America that had everything that their homelands didn't have, that was built from the backs of slaves, and the money. The reason America became as rich as it did is because the richness was built off slavery. They made a lot of money in those fields, those cotton fields and sugarcane fields. They made a lot of money in all of the plantations. This country made a lot of money. That was the reason real reason as well for the Civil War. Because it was about a money game. You see, when people come here and insult you and tell you that you're lazy, but you were not lazy for working for free for over 200 years. You were not lazy even after slavery with the sharecropping. So they were still working for free. And I don't recall seeing or hearing about immigrants being on those lands either during those sharecropping years. It's disrespectful. You can say with all truthfulness and honesty that immigrants have contributed to the American society, because they have. But to say that you built without giving the original people here the respect that they are due, and saying that you, not them, you did it. And then you want us to take you seriously? Foundational Black Americans delineation was 1000% the best thing we have done in over 400 years. It's a shame we couldn't have done it earlier, because I'm sure our community would have gotten further. I'm not saying that we may not have some allies, but as a collective, that's not the case. As a collective, we have more enemies than allies. And it's time for us to realize that. Until people start showing respect and bombarding the cookouts, because at this point, it ain't even no invitations. It's people just trying to kick in the door and take over. So until they can learn to come with respect, honesty, and decency. And honesty is acknowledging the reason why we are here right now today. Because had it not been for the years and decades of disrespect in our faces, then we wouldn't be here today, and you guys would have allies with this deportation shit. But even today, you still have that disgusting demeanor. Some of you. Some of you. There are no allies where none is given. Dr. Francis Cress, so many of our elders have told us. Dr. Claude Anderson. So many of our elders have told us that we were coming here. We were going to get to this point. And we didn't listen. Dr. Wilson and all the other doctors. Minister Farrakhan. Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So many of our elders told us this is where we were going to end up at. And now we are here. And it's time, family. We are doing the right thing and we are on the right track. They even made fun of us saying when tenderism, when that situation happened, we're not going to support them. You had people, and I know these were not foundational black Americans, but these were black faces. So they were immigrants. Online saying that they were not going to support him. For what? He didn't go over there to your homeland and throw your country into disarray and take your country's resources. He didn't do that. He didn't go over to your homeland and rape your women and throw them down well shafts. Yeah, because that's the shit they were doing in Kenya. These British soldiers and Canadian soldiers over there, and they were raping the girls and graping the girls, unaliving them and throwing them in shafts and stuff. They did a piece about it on the BBC News. And still is in his homeland, one of them that did it, because his country refuses to send him back, to extradite him. See, we understand that we are in the belly of the beast. We know that we are in the midst of Babylon. We know that our enemies are all around us. But there are others that look at their enemies as their friends and then wonder why they had to leave their homeland to come to this homeland. See, we have to really face the monkey in the damn room. Everybody. And until we do, it's going to continue the same way. They're going to always have to leave their homelands. This is why the European nations do that shit. They need cheap labor. They need bodies they can stand on. Because quite often, people that take slaves, as the Caucasians did, don't like to work. Chattel slavery. Let me say it like that. So anybody say, well, so many people had slaves. Yeah, so many people didn't have chattel slaves. But America did. Family, it is what it is. It has been a long time coming. But it's here. We love those who love us. But those that want to make war with us, you're barking up the wrong tree. We're the chosen people. All right, family. I thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for, being here. And, your opinions matter to me. You may not agree. You may agree. But it is time for us to love ourselves. A nation that does not love themselves cannot thrive. And delineating is the first step. Look how we done donated to Tendonism, and he up there $100,000 already, so he can open up his restaurant. He already have $100,000, and his goal is 112, and I'm quite sure within the next week or two he'll have it. We have to love each other. All right, family. I love you all, and I thank you so much for joining the channel. All right. I wish you peace, love, and blessings again, and Black power. All right, family. Take care. Bye bye.